Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Come on in on all devices.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. For those of you guys who have not been with us before, listen, we like to get straight to that thing. You understand what I'm saying? We like to get straight to that thing. So for those of you guys who have never been with us before, I am Candy Sincerity Johnson.
And I'm Sean Johnson. Hey, guys.
Hello, hello, hello. Listen, what we do is we help people get from the life they have to the life they want while unlocking their wealth potential. So in doing so, what we often find is there's trending topics, there's things going on in the world, current events, etc. And we use those as opportunities or teaching moments to talk about a bigger thing.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So we tie all of that in together and we package that thing up, something beautiful, and give you guys, baby, the video that's educational, entertaining, and all of the things, girl. Mm-hmm. So you are in for a treat, girl.
So it's just a little edutainment, if you will.
A little edutainment. I like that. So before we get started, do you have a disclaimer to give?
I do. So listen, first of all, thank you and shout out to everybody who has been watching the video from yesterday.
Yes.
In saying that, because a lot of people have saying that they have been learning from Miss Candy here, that that she's brought a different insight and things like that. So if this video ends up, being seen by more people than those that are presently with us, all that we ask is that this is a judgment-free zone. Yes. We value everybody's opinions. We don't expect everybody to agree with us. However, we ask that you be respectful, not only to us, but to everybody that you see in the comments. If you feel that you are getting a little hot under the collar and you cannot keep it together, then I just ask that you excuse yourself from the room.
Yeah. Either excuse yourself from the room or just table whatever your thought process is. Because what I have learned over the years is, girl, you cannot change a made up mind.
No, you cannot.
Girl, if that mind is made up, girl, you can do and say everything you want to say, but you cannot change a made up mind. And so just because even outside of this particular topic, we come here all the time. We go live all the time. We're always talking about current events and what's going on in the world. But we have created a community of people on this side. Well, we get to know each other. We're respectful of each other and all of that. So negative energy, there's no place for it over here.
It's not welcome.
All right.
Good deal.
So Chef Carmen and Boss Lady. Girl, Bonita said, I am so sick of this, girl. I don't know what to tell you, girl, because the internet is internet, girl.
Yes.
Girl, when I say the dolls, girl, the dolls are not sick of talking.
Right.
Girl, the dolls are not sick of talking. The conversation is getting louder by the day, girl.
Okay. And
you understand what I'm saying?
And but think about it this way. The more they talk, the more edutainment you can get. Because the more things Miss Candy Sincerity Johnson can teach you in business and otherwise. Okay?
Yeah, that's true. So, girl, we did the video yesterday. The video is at 8 or 9,000 views or something like that. Girl, our videos don't never go like that.
Ever.
So I must have said something, Sean must have said something that y'all really connected with, enjoyed, etc. Because when I say y'all sharing that thing, girl, that thing is getting around the globe, ain't it? Girl, it's like a telephone game when you was in elementary school, girl. That thing is getting around, girl.
Right.
So there have been updates since last night's video. We literally were sitting right here in the same place around the same time, and so much has unfolded since yesterday.
Yes.
So we thought, in true fairness, girl, we would give you an update video.
Yes.
So what is happening, girl?
So do you want me to read the post, or you want me to kind of give the feedback from the live?
Let's go live. Well, let's go in order.
Okay.
Let's do the post first.
Gotcha.
We're going to do the post first. And then we're going to get to the live. So we're going to give you guys the update according to the timeline, the chronicle timeline of how things happen. And in the midst of Sean giving you guys the update of what has happened since yesterday's video, I'm going to give you the background. I'm going to give you the reaction. I'm going to give you a business perspective.
Yes.
That fair?
Okay.
All right.
If that's fair, if everybody's fair, I need you to do one of three things. I need you to like this video. I need you to share this video or drop a few stars down there. Okay.
Yeah.
Stars. Every star counts. Every star matters. All right.
That's right.
So listen. So this was the post that was posted by Boss Lady. All
When
right.
was this posted?
This was 3 hours ago.
3 hours ago.
3 hours ago. Okay.
Roger that.
And I'm going to read you what she said. All right. So she said, allow me to give a quick recap of the facts. We are co-owners in a business that is governed and managed by contracts and agreements. Then can you talk about having your paperwork in order? Okay. We both had specific job responsibilities within this business arrangement. Carmen decided that she wanted out of the business on more than one occasion.
Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm not ignoring anybody.
Right. Okay. I offered her a partial buyout, which she agreed to with myself and our business consultant. She would still be an owner, but be less involved in the day-to-day operations so she could be free from her responsibilities. That's not stealing a business. It's modifying an agreement. The agreement was set up to give her what she wanted. I have sought legal action to hold her accountable to her agreements and for defamation and slander, which you all have witnessed again last night. All avenues were exhausted over the last 4 months before this suit was filed. There is quite a bit of evidence. Proposals and agreements were written up and agreed upon, and a significant amount of effort was made to get resolved. This is not just about me, but also our employees who get their income from this business. I'm not willing to allow anyone to hurt these people and take away their livelihoods. Over the last 6 months, there have been various social media firestorms that have damaged this business. And as the CEO, it's my fiduciary duty to step in and protect it. Sometimes legal action is needed when people can't work things out. And the mention about me being concerned about her girlfriend or relationship is absurd. The only time I had any concerns with her was when she was interfering with the business. I appreciate everyone's concerns and opinions, and I hope this sheds some light. All right.
Okay.
So that was the post by Boss Lady 3 hours ago, per the stamp on the Book of Faces. Okay. Did you need to say anything or do anything? You want to go into what the response was?
No, we can go into. So was that the only post?
That was the only post, because the post prior to that was just like, here we go again. I'll be making a statement. That was just preparing everybody for the statement.
Okay. So that was her written statement.
Well, I guess, okay, I will read this one. This one is not quite as long. So 23 hours ago. So this was the post that she made. Let's see, that was 3 hours ago. Today is Tuesday, Monday sometime. She said, here we go again. This is when the first live video from Carmen, I think, came out. Okay. She said, here we go again. I'll be making a statement to clear up all the lies, and there are quite a few that need to be addressed. The lawsuit could not be avoided. I hired a business consultant first. After spending 45 days with Carmen and her refusal to uphold written agreements, he advised me to seek legal counsel. This the only way to stop her from destroying everything. She asked me to buy her out less than 2 weeks ago. Now she's saying I'm trying to take the company. She threatened me with physical harm. That's why she's not allowed at the headquarters. I'm very concerned with her mental health at this point. So that was the post prior to the 3 hour ago post.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that was the lead up to what I just read prior to that.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me bring up the comments so that way you can see the comments on this video and I can go over what was said in Carmen's. Perfect. All right. I'm going to turn this down. Make sure that's down. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. Everybody following? Everybody good? Hey, Ms. Natasha. All right.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody that's joining.
Hey, everybody. Hey, queens. And if there are any kings.
Yeah.
So about an hour ago, right?
About an hour ago, girl, I was on the phone with my mom. Girl. She was calling to get the update of the day. I was like, girl, I gotta let you go. Look, girl, listen. I hear what you saying, and I know you need to talk, but also, girl, Chef Carmen is live, so I gotta let you go.
Right. She's like, girl, I got to go.
Call me in the morning on your first break, okay? Girl, I like to have hung up on mama so fast. Girl.
Okay. So about an hour ago, Chef went live, and I'm guessing more so than not, it's probably in response to the post that Karina had. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's that. Now, she states, and she was more so, it wasn't a very long live, and I think she was more trying to connect with her people more than anything. So I just put the notes that I took that I felt was going to be relevant to our conversation tonight. Okay. So in the live, she did say that they were 50-50 partners. Okay.
So that's Chef Carmen says out of her own mouth on tonight's live that her and Karina were 50-50 partners.
50-50 partners. That's important. Okay. So if you've been watching and following the bouncing ball, like Darius said, if you've been following it, that's key. That's important. All right.
Okay.
She says that Karina is not the CEO, because in Karina's post, she said as the CEO, she has the fiduciary responsibility. All right. To protect it. Okay. She says she is not.
I'm just taking notes for those wondering. Okay.
She says she is not the CEO. Okay. Chef says that she is the CEO and the founder of the company. That's what Chef is saying. All right. She said that she allowed Karina to buy 50% of the company. Again, remember that 50-50 is important.
Okay,
right?
that number. Somebody play 50-50 box.
50-50 box, 50-50 straight.
Yes, you understand what I'm saying? Play 50-50. 50-50
right.
is the magic number on tonight.
That's important.
Yeah.
She also says that she wants to go to court. So I don't know if she means that she's going to be filing a suit or if this is in the midst of the suit that's already going. All right. But anyway, she says that she's going to be going through court in order to get her name back so it cannot be used. Because, you know, I Got You Seasonings was her name that she had for her seasonings. Her face is on the products, etc., on the cookbooks, all of that. All right. So she says she wants to go to court to get her name back so it cannot be used. All right. So that was like the key points. Outside of that, she was just more so telling her supporters that she was there. She's trying to get herself back in the game. She's going to be back. She's going to be taking it back to the way that it used to be, from the windows to the walls and all the things that you guys know and love her for. All right. So, but I pulled those out because I feel like those were the important pieces that we're going to talk about looking at this from a business standpoint.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you very, very much for the update.
You're welcome.
Now, here's the reaction. Here's the reaction. Sean gives you the play-by-play update. She's very big on facts and figures, girl. Facts and figures, girl. She's very big on forget what you say and what you say. Girl, what does the paperwork say? Girl, you see what I'm saying?
What I'm not going to never do is say, Sean said,
Yeah. So here's what I heard. There was some key words that I jotted down or that I took note of as you were reading Karina's post and as you were reading your notes from Chef Carmen's vlog. Okay. One of the first words that I heard you say was co-owner agreement.
Yes.
Co-owner agreement. On last night's video, we talked about what? We talked about having your agreements in order, having your documentation, having your paperwork, all of the things, having your T's crossed and your I's dotted. We talked about that. We also talked about percentages and ownership. And we didn't know at the time what the percentages were.
Right.
Now Chef Carmen is publicly saying 50-50, right? Here's the thing about 50-50. 50-50 ownership is very dangerous in a lot of positions. Here's why I would never do 50-50 ownership with anybody, with any brand, with any deal. Is because 50-50 means if you vote yes and I vote no, there's nobody to come in. What's the tiebreaker to decide how we propel this business forward? It could be something as basic as, should we hire another employee? It could be something as large as, should we close down our brick and mortar store and take everything online? There's so many different variables that control a 50-50 split, and you're bound by either both parties having to agree on what the decision is or what the outcome is, or you're in conflict, right? So what I would always advise people to do if they're in a partnership is do a 51-49, do a 30-70, girl, do a 60-40, however you want to do it. But somebody has to have majority ownership, right? Somebody has to have majority ownership, because anytime you go into a 50-50 sort of deal, it just can get sticky, right? We also heard about Karina suggesting that she offered Carmen a partial buyout. A partial buyout. Anytime you're dealing with a buyout situation in business, and for some people, this conversation is gonna go over your head, okay? But anytime you're having a buyout sort of conversation, all of the terms and conditions in that prior agreement are no longer valid once you sign that new agreement. So once that second agreement is signed, it's no longer about who previously started the business, who owned it, who started in their kitchen, who came on board later. All of that's null and void, right? They had one agreement. Once they got to the table and signed a second agreement, everything that happened or was agreed on before that, it's out the window. It's all about what does that new agreement say, right?
Unless you put a clause in the agreement that says this from the prior agreement still stands. And you got to be really specific when you are creating any types of contracts and agreements.
Yes. I also heard somebody reference a business consultant, girl. Your girl sitting here up under this nasty hat, girl. Whether I look like one or not, I am a business consultant. Out of all the different genres and industries of business, I specialize in online businesses, e-commerce businesses, right? I Got You Seasoning is a what? E-commerce business. We own an e-commerce business. Sincerity Johnson is our e-commerce business. That's what qualifies me to be able to speak on it, is because from start to finish, I've walked through this journey. I know this journey in and out. From a business to business perspective or a business to consumer perspective, I know e-commerce. So there's a lot of things in the e-commerce space that I'm like, yep, I advise my client in that direction, or yep, I experienced it in our own personal business, right? So anytime you have an online business, it's not uncommon for either both parties, if you're dealing with a partnership, either both parties to say, you know what, we're growing and we're doing well, but there's some corners that we can't see around and some areas in this industry that we probably could grow in. Let's bring on a business consultant. Right. So for all intents and purposes, a business consultant, if you're familiar with sports, is very similar to that private coach that's helping you, you know, if you play baseball with your batting, right? That private coach that's giving you pitching lessons so that when you get back in the game, you're that much more advanced. Right. A business coach just helps you see that area or those areas in your business, in your organization that you can't see around. Yes. And he or she comes with a different set of skills that allows you to be able to oftentimes make more money, right? Typically, that's how a business coach is seen, right? The reason why I perked my ears up when she said business coach is because I've seen it personally happen multiple ways. When you're dealing with a partnership, a business coach can be hired just to consult Karina. A business coach can be hired just to consult and look out for the best interest of Carmen. Or a business coach can be hired and consulting to look out for the best interest of the collective, meaning the whole business. Right. So if you know anything about law, right? Let's look at it, because some people are like, this business stuff is over my head. Let me give you another example that you can relate to. If you're married, or if you know a couple that's married, there's a such thing as family law, right? Let's say Sean and I are having some issues. We don't know if we're going to stay together. We have a family attorney that's wanting to sit down and help us mediate through some things and help us get over this hurdle in our family, or, you know, whatever the case may be. We would together hire a family attorney, right? We would together hire a family attorney that is hired with the intention on looking out for the both of us plus our kids. Yep. Now, that's different than hiring an attorney that's looking out for my best interest. When we went through a divorce, I had an attorney, she had an attorney, right? It's different for somebody who I specifically handpick and hire. That individual, he or she is designed to only look out for what's best for me. Yeah. Sean's divorce attorney would only look out for what's best for her. You understand the difference? So my ears perked up when I heard business consultant, because I would have follow-up questions that the average person wouldn't have, right? I want to know who hired the business consultant, who agreed to the business consultant, and who does this business consultant represent? Represent, right? There will be so many things that I would want to know about this business consultant and about his or her relationship with the business or with both parties. Right. Because did Karina or did Karina not say the business consultant said you need to seek counsel? Yeah, they did. Right? So a business consultant knows his or her scope of business on what they do, right? A business consultant knows, you know, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not good at. I don't do accounting, so I'm going to refer you to a great accountant. Or a business coach also knows, you know, hey, change the game. I'm going to say that again. What I'm about to say next is going to completely change the game. Share the video. Share the video. Okay? The next thing that I want to say is, on Chef Carmen's live, she mentioned that she's going to seek legal counsel to protect the name of the brand. Does she not? That's dangerous. That's dangerous. If I was her business coach, if I was her business consultant, I would have coached her in what to say on the live. I would have coached her on what to share, but I would have advised her not to share that.
I'm torn on even if you should say anything because
it's out there now. It's evergreen.
Dangerous.
It's out there now. The problem is it's out there.
Yeah.
And we live in a day and age of screen record.
Yeah.
We live in a day and age of screen record. Sean knows exactly where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a such thing as in business, you trademark the name, you trademark the logo, you do all of these things. Mm-hmm. And that's what whether she specifically said those words or not, that's what she's alluding to.
Yeah.
The danger is you don't have to be the owner of the business to trademark the name or to trademark the logo. There is a whole group of people out here in the world that troll social media. They look online, they're looking for local businesses, they're looking for all of these things, and they watch businesses go from zero to a certain statute, right? And they do the research, right? They get on their computers, they do the research, and they find those businesses that are taking off, they're doing very well for themselves, but that didn't cross their T's and didn't dot their I's. And they trademark and they copyright all of the things within that business. They go get business licenses in that business name. They go get LLC or incorporation paperwork. And then they go back to the real owners of that business, drag them in court and sue them for what they started. I have seen so many people lose their business because they didn't have their T's crossed and their I's dotted. Y'all understanding what I'm saying? Her saying publicly, this is what I'm doing next, is dangerous because now you're telling the other side exactly how you're going to move. So it's now a race to the finish line. Who can get in front of the right person faster? Who can get a copyright attorney or a trademark attorney, or who can get legal paperwork signed and filed first? So now it's a race. It's a race, girl.
Right.
It's a whole race. Because you don't know. You don't know. What would you add to that part?
So I'm trying to hold on for a second because I'm trying to see if we're still, because this is what's coming up on here. So I don't know. Can everybody still hear us? And I see the thumbs up, but I'm just trying to see, can everybody still see us and hear us?
Yeah.
Somebody say, I can hear you, I can see you, because my device is saying it's blacked out.
Yeah. So, but that's what I heard. So immediately while we had the live plan and we were listening, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, if I flag on the play, girl.
Yeah.
Flag on the play.
Exactly.
Flag on the play, because I was like, this can go in the wrong direction if we're not careful.
Right.
So go ahead.
So I will say this, and I just want to address some people because I understand there are some people who love, hands down, Chef Carmen, y'all 10 toes, 10 digits in. We are not just somebody that doesn't know her. Like, if you watched our video from yesterday, you guys know that we're connected to Carmen. Like, I literally can call Carmen right now if I wanted to.
Yeah, we're probably, no shade, we're probably more connected than many of the people.
Yeah, so, but like I said earlier, everybody can have your opinion or whatever, but if you ever want to know, you can probably go back and see the connection that we have. So that's that. But then what I want to say about what you said about the copyright and the trademarking, what I want to say, because for some people, they may not even know the difference between the two.
Okay, that's fair.
And so what I want to do is I want to just tell you the difference between a copyright and a trademark. Okay, so copyright is more so for like intellectual property. And that's more so like, this is the song that I wrote. This is the poem. This is the poem that I wrote. This is my painting that I painted, all of the things. Okay, that's when you copyright something. All right, that's when you copyright something. When you trademark something, okay, you trademark it because you're trying to protect the use of your logo, your name, your brand, and all of those things. So and this is for the people that may even be thinking about starting a business or want to go into business for themselves. Know the difference between what you need to copyright and what you need to trademark, because they're very important and they have their own reasonings for doing either or both, depending on what it is. So I just want to say that.
Yeah.
I did check it. It didn't say it needed an update.
Okay.
And now they're saying we're frozen. So I don't know.
Let me know, guys, if we're still frozen. Let me know if we're still frozen. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if we're still frozen. I'm not sure if we are or not.
Because if we are, then that may be the Lord saying, y'all said what y'all had to say. You said what you said. You said what you said. And then everybody else just got to drag it the rest of the way. But yeah, they're saying no, they can't see us. Oh, we're good now? Okay. We're good now?
We're good, guys? Okay.
We want to make sure.
Yeah.
Fine here. Okay. Then we're going to keep it going. For those that can't, maybe that's because they ain't supposed to be. All right. So there we go. Yeah. So that's the difference between copyright and trademark. So for those that were just like, I don't know the difference, that's the difference.
That's the main difference.
Yeah, those are the main differences. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's why we always tell you when we address things like this, it's because we're trying to help you guys on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Because like we told you guys yesterday, it can be it's easy to get sucked into something on an emotional side and think from an emotional place. And sometimes that defeats you or keeps you from being able to look at things at a more high level sort of space because you're in it. It's just like when somebody tells you when you having a conflict with somebody, you might need an outside person to help you through because you can't really hear what the other person is saying because you're so involved in it. It can kind of be the same thing. It can kind of be the same thing. So I saw some questions. Somebody was asking like some legitimate questions, but now I can't see them.
And I'm sorry, our live, we're not able to get to the comments, but I have seen a couple comments, and a lot of people was like, "I love Chef Carmen. Somebody needs to help Chef Carmen, etc." So for those of you, and then there was somebody else who previously was like, "Who is this? Who is this?" So we do social media videos all the time.
Yeah.
We talk about different topics. We talk about whatever's trending, right? But we also know Carmen. And we've been in communication with Carmen on and off for several years. And so Carmen is very familiar with us. We're very familiar with her. And so just like many of you guys, we love Carmen as well.
Absolutely.
We love Carmen and we don't know Karina. We've never met Karina. We said that on yesterday's video for the people that are new. We've never met Karina. We've never talked to Karina. We have nothing against anybody. The only thing that you will find on this here platform is us speaking facts. We're going to give you facts based on whatever is public knowledge, whatever it has already been released. And we're going to give you our perspective about the financial or the business side of things because I am a business coach. That's what I do. So it's always going to be a teaching moment for us. So we take whatever's popular and going on in the world and we put the financial or the business spin on it. It's very reminiscent of, and you guys have heard me say it before on other videos, it's very reminiscent of putting the medicine in the candy, right? A lot of people don't want to sit around and talk about fixing their finances, starting a business, etc. Sometimes it takes you seeing something very popular or trending in the tabloids, in the media or whatever, and then kind of getting a different spin on it and people learn better that way. So that's essentially all we've done. So it's not a knock. We feel like Chef Carmen is amazing. She's built an outstanding business. She's doing phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But sometimes, and we're all guilty of it, sometimes when you're in the midst of going through a storm, there's different things that you could have done or different ways that you could have handled it that may have given you a different outcome. And because you're in the middle of the storm, you can't see some of the possible outcomes or some of the things that you could have done. So, yeah, it's different. It's just a different perspective. It's just simply a different perspective.
Dang.
Yeah.
Latriva says we're not frozen. We're frozen on ours, but that's okay because as long as y'all can hear us, that's fine now.
As long as you guys can hear us, we'll go back and read through comments. But yeah,
it's fine.
So, but yeah, what else would you have added?
That is about it. Do we have any questions on with our queens on this side?
No. So we're also live on Instagram, guys. So there were some people who saying can't see very good on Instagram. And then there was somebody who requested to go live with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So did you have anything else before we see if anybody has any questions in regards to some of the business stuff that we've stated or anything like that?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to just kind of follow up because some of the things that we said yesterday were cleared up on today. Like when we were talking about having your paperwork and having agreements and things like that, knowing the ownership role that each person has. And so that information was shared today. So we thought that it was befitting for us to come today and say, okay, hey, some of the stuff that we were wondering about yesterday has been cleared up today. So here it is. And here's some even more teaching moments. Just like somebody said, I'm so glad that you told me the difference between copyright and trademark. Some people don't know. You know what I'm saying? But does anybody have any questions when it comes to any of the business stuff that Candy has shared, any of the things that was mentioned or anything like that? Now, we are not in a position to answer any questions about Chef Carmen. We are not in a position to answer any questions about Karina. We can only answer questions about what we've stated, and that's it.
Yeah.
But let us know.
But I do see one comment. Somebody said they just need to stay off social media. I don't think you're referring to us. I think you probably, I think you're probably referring to Chef Carmen and Karina. I mentioned that on yesterday's video. I did say that instead of being so forthcoming and sharing, which I know is very difficult for Carmen, Carmen built her platform. She built her brand about transparency.
Yes.
She believes in documenting the process. She takes you to the store. She takes you, to the airport. She takes you everywhere with her. When people have questions, even if it is none of their business, she still answers the questions. So it's very hard for somebody who's naturally wired like that to just stop doing it overnight, right? And so typically when something's bothering you or something's going on, naturally she wants to share. And that doesn't necessarily make her a bad person, but in this particular instance, with there being so much legal stuff going on, with there being a lot of hurt feelings and there being breakdown of key relationships, then I would suggest that what you said is accurate. Everybody would benefit from just taking a little breather off of social media. And what we suggested yesterday was going to mediation. So not necessarily all the lawsuits and stuff, but just taking a step back, just saying, you know what? You've been a part of this brand. I've been a part of this brand. We work very, very hard to get to where we are. Nobody wants to see it crumble. So since we're rowing in the same direction, the logical thing to do would be, let's just take a step back. Let's take a break from each other. And then when we come back, let's go to mediation so that we can create a plan, even if it's an exit plan for somebody. Let's create a plan so that we can go ahead and figure out what's best and then move accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
So Lisa Page has a good question for you, Candy. She says, when you have a partnership, should both have an independent attorney before going into a business?
You could. Yeah, I would definitely say that both people should have an attorney, because at the end of the day, how you start something is how that thing will continue and how it will end. If you start with the right paperwork and everything on the front end, when everybody's happy, you guys are doing well, you still like each other and all of that, then you're going to continue down that pathway. I believe that it shouldn't be a situation where one person has an attorney but the other person doesn't. Or, both people are just, having a conversation and doing business on a handshake and a prayer. You can't do business like that in real life. You can't scale or you can't grow a business like that. And so, I think it would be smart. And I think that would be a good thing, which is to say to your business partner, hey, we getting started and I see us heading in a very strong direction. It would be beneficial for both of us to have attorneys come to the table and create an agreement that works for everybody.
And sometimes it's good to have your own attorney anyway to help you look over any kind of contracts or agreements, because some people either don't like to read contracts, maybe you don't understand all the terminology that's in a contract or an agreement, and so sometimes that's a good reason to have it too. Jen, I hope I'm saying your name right, Queen. Either Janice or Janice Peter says, in business, if you're dealing with a partner that becomes irrational, what can you do at that point?
Well, then that's when those co-owner agreements and those agreements that you have on the front end, that's when that kicks in. So some of the things that are covered in agreements between partners in business is what happens to your part of the business or the whole business if my business partner dies. What happens to your part of the business or the whole business if my partner becomes hurt in a car accident, disabled, mentally incapable of running the business. Those are all things that you figure out and you create processes and systems and procedures to protect. There's a bunch of things that you could plug in as solutions there. You get into insurance policies. You can have co-owner agreement and insurance policies. There's all sorts of things. That's when sometimes spouses get involved, which is why that's a sticky topic, right? Anytime you're dealing with business partnerships, also when that person is married, now you're dealing not just with that one individual, but now there's two people that you have to consider. What does the agreement state about one of the partners getting married or both partners being married? What role or what ownership percentage does that spouse now have in the business? What say-so does that spouse now have? There's a bunch of different things that you have to consider. And when you don't have all of those things spelled out to a T, then it becomes gray and emotional, which is what we're seeing. And then it also becomes public if you're not careful, and it can become very messy. Yeah.
Let me see. There was another question. Let me see if I can get to it. I'm trying to scroll slowly, girl. This thing right here be taking me up out of here. I should have my computer. There was another question. Oh, I think it was Lisa again. I think Lisa basically said, how do you determine shares? Like, how do you figure out who gets what as far as the sharing of it? I think that's what here it is. How do you determine shares? The person with the plan or / finances, or how do you determine that?
Well, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. You have to do whatever's comfortable for you. So every situation is going to be completely different. I could be sitting down with two people who started the business together from day one, kind of like what we did with Sincerity Johnson. Sincerity Johnson is our online e-commerce brand. It's a women's fashion brand. We have handbags, we have jewelry, we have glasses, etc. When we sat down and started that business, we were literally sitting at our kitchen table. We started the business. We wrote all these different ideas down on a napkin, and then it grew exponentially from there. And so when we started the business together. Now, in some cases, like Chef Carmen, bringing everything back full circle, Chef Carmen and Karina didn't start that business together. Chef Carmen started that business. Right? Karina later became a part of the business. So what's fair for one situation is going to be different than other people. Also, who put in the financial backing? You can't start a business without money. Whose idea is it? Who's doing the day-to-day operations? Who's working in the business? There's so many different things that you have to consider. But I will say this, and I will reiterate this. I don't personally believe in 50-50 agreements. I believe 50-50 agreements are dangerous and they are a recipe for disaster, because it's just a matter of time before you get to the point where somebody's going to want something that the other person don't want. And then now if we're 50-50 owners, your voice is just as loud as mine legally. So who's going to determine who gets what they want and who has to, make the sacrifice? I believe in 51-49, 60-40, 70-30, whatever it is that you agree on. But I also advise my clients or the people that I work with, if you are in a situation where you own a business and your business is successful, sometimes things happen where you have to raise capital, right? You have to raise money, or you need money for marketing or whatever. You might need $50,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is that you need to grow your business. Before you consider selling percentages and ownership, let's look at some other options. Can you get a loan from somebody and just pay them interest? That way, once that thing is paid off, you're done. You still own 100%. What things can we do to circumvent the possibility of you having to lose part ownership?
Exactly.
Okay.
Good questions, guys. So typically we take Candy takes 5 questions. That was 3. So if anybody else has any more questions, that's great. If not, if you want to, and I always tell everybody this, because some people have questions that may be more personal to their own business situation. Like if you're sitting here thinking like, ooh, this kind of might apply to my situation, and you don't want to ask on a public platform, then you can always go to Candy's website, CandySincerityJohnson.com, and you can book a consultation with her. She'll sit down with you for an hour and answer your questions, and all that type of stuff too. So that's an option as well. Linda said it sounds ghetto to me.
Well, I mean, every business is different. But yeah,
exactly. But if there are no other questions, did you have anything else that you want to share or enlighten on as far as this topic goes?
No. So for the people that are new, I will say this. For the people that are new, because we do have a lot of new people on the line. If you're new, make sure you like and follow the page.
Yes.
If you've been enjoying the past couple of days of videos, you're in for a treat. last week or week before last, whenever it was, girl, we was talking about La Truth. Week before that, girl, we was talking about, one of my friends in a situation with her. So it's always something, right? The world gives us stuff to talk about all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. We use whatever's going on as opportunities to get better in our finances and in business. So even if you don't have a business, this is still a place you want to like and follow, because you're always going to come over here and learn something about how to get to the bag.
Exactly.
We believe in getting to the bag.
Or if we said something and you don't like it and we get on your nerves, you can still come back and maybe we'll say something next time that you might like.
Yeah.
So Gemini has a question and says, can they both be CEOs?
No.
Nope.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of two CEOs.
No.
Now I've heard of a CEO and a COO
and a CFO.
or a CFO.
Yeah.
I've heard of those three titles: CEO, COO, Chief Operating Officer, or Chief Financial Officer. I've heard of those, but those are completely different titles.
Yeah.
Like the CFO handles all the finances of the business. The CEO runs the whole business. So, like I said, there's different titles for different things, but I've never heard of two CEOs.
Right.
And not for a business of that size, definitely not. I've known businesses that have 19,000 employees, 60,000 employees. Years ago we worked for State Farm. State Farm had 65,000 employees at the time, between corporate and otherwise, and we had one CEO.
Yeah.
So it's no shade, right? So a business of that stature, if anybody would have more than one, a business that has, so many employees is larger than some cities. You get what I'm saying? So,
Do we have any questions over here with our queens over there? I just want to make sure.
She says, so very sad that their friendship and Chef Carmen's relationship with her daughter and granddaughter just destroyed behind money. I don't think that the relationship was just destroyed behind money. I think there were a lot of different moving parts. But anytime you have a relationship that's destroyed or that's strained, right, then it is very sad. One of the things that we didn't touch on is the relationship breakdown between Carmen and her daughter and Carmen and her granddaughter, specifically because family relationships are sticky, right? They're very sticky. I will say this. I wish and I pray the best for everybody involved. And I do believe that every relationship, whether it's hers and Karina's, their friendship, or her relationship with her daughter and her granddaughter, I believe all of those relationships are salvageable. They just got to get to the point where they're communicating and everybody can hear each other. Usually when things are so emotional, logic goes out the window. People want to talk, but nobody wants to listen. And so sometimes the best thing to do, even if it's for a short time, is to pull back and just take time so you don't say anything hurtful that you can't, take back. So we didn't touch on that, and, kind of intentionally.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, we're wishing and praying the absolute best for that family. Okay.
Good deal. Oh, did you want to remind everybody about what today was and what's going on your website?
Oh, girl, listen. If you guys did not know, today is National Authors Day. So aside from me doing coaching to help people with their finances or with their business, I also am the author of a few books. So a few of them are financial in nature, help you start a business and grow your revenue. And then one helps you just literally go from having bad credit and being in debt to, getting your debt paid off, saving and investing. So I walk you through all of those steps. So all three of those digital books are on our website. My website is CandySincerityJohnson.com. But in honor of National Authors Day, everything is 50% off until midnight. So that's what Sean wanted me to mention. I mentioned it on my video that I did earlier today when I was out walking. And shout out to everybody who's been taking advantage of it, because the orders have been coming in all day. A lot of people have been grabbing their books. So we really, really, really are passionate about helping people improve their finances. So, yep. That's that.
Absolutely.
That's that. So,
shout out to those who have been ordering their books. I hope you're ready to study. And as you're going through those books, if you have questions, definitely book your consultations with Miss Candy so she can walk you through. But yeah, I think that was dope. Again.
So yeah, so the website is Candy Sincerity Johnson, but that's pretty much it. I hope you guys really learned something, and I hope you enjoyed your time with us tonight.
Yes. So we appreciate you guys. I will let you close your video out like you normally do.
Yes, so as we always say, baby, listen, the absolute best is yet to come, but baby, we got work to do. Y'all take care.